Hi, everybody. Welcome to part two. We just couldn't leave it without having a part two because we've got so much to talk about. But we are going to talk about the nitty gritty end of this amazing race that is Last Paddler Standing. And I'm here with Betsy Ray from SUP Racer. And we've talked about the Super Seven. Let's give them a shout out again, shall we? Without forgetting John Batson. So we have John Batson, Lindsey, Mike Carson, Brad Friesen, Bruce from the UK, Jeremy Stanton, and Laird Wharton. So these seven, as I said earlier, were paddling from lap 38, hour 38, and they paddled almost all the way to the end of the race. Um, just an incredible thing, an incredible thing. And as I said earlier, they were almost paddling in a team. They went out together, and they came back pretty much together as well, didn't they?
Yeah, it was really cool to see. And they've definitely developed a really nice camaraderie out there on the water.
Yeah, it must have been quite hard because anybody who was going to drop out at that stage was just probably going to be missed greatly. Um, so heading into that super loop, I know for us especially that excitement level, that adrenaline level, I know it kept me going. I think for those last however many hours it was leading down to it because it was so exciting. We had the lightning, we had the break, and then we had the super loops. And going into that, at 9 o'clock on the Monday morning was so exciting because it's a big thing suddenly to be going from 3.33 miles a lap to 4.9. It almost feels like double. I mean, it wasn't, but
Yeah,
it almost feels like it, doesn't it? Um, and we
it's
had we had lap one. Can you talk us through lap one of the Superloop, Betsy?
oh yeah, okay. So we didn't know, you get to 48 hours and you don't know if anyone at that point is going to decide not to go for the super loop, right? And there was, we mentioned Mike Carson was looking a little bit unsteady. You wonder, is everyone going to actually attempt this super loop? So I think that was the first thing, just seeing all seven of that super seven line up again, ready to go and get out there to attempt it. That was so cool.
Yeah,
And Laird needed to be convinced too.
I was just about to say that. I think I said to him, don't do a Lindsay because, she
Yeah,
had that regret, from a couple of years ago of just going, I'm stopping at 48. That's what I said I do. And we just said to him, I'm sure you said the same, just go, please don't stop. And he went,
just try.
okay.
Yeah.
And he
He
did
was
it.
very easy to convince. I think it took
He
about
was.
30 seconds.
Yeah. But it was great, wasn't it? Because we had John, Bruce, and Brad, you know, didn't breeze in, but it felt almost well, actually,
Yeah.
saying that, we were stood on the pontoon, weren't we, watching that extra loop bit, and it was quite
Yeah.
breezy. There was a little downwind and a little upwind. And you and I were stood there almost saying, we're not sure that anybody's going to make it because it's so difficult to see the perspective of where they're paddling up to. It looked a hell of a long way. They've then got to come back. They've then got to go all the way back up. And they're into it. So it's like a double headwind. We were convinced almost, weren't we? We were almost talking that they were not going to do it. But
Yeah.
suddenly
It-
you realised that actually some of them were. So
they did.
yeah. So we had John, Brad, and Bruce pretty much came in together, didn't they? But the most
Same
exciting
as every
thing,
other lap, really.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. But the other exciting thing, the one that we were holding out so much hope for, and absolutely willing her on, was Lindsey Tilton, who had not attempted a had not attempted a super loop before, but B, would she make it? Because she's having to pretty much sprint. The guys are pretty much sprinting, and she's having to do that as well. And I do remember getting very emotional on the live feed when we knew that she was going to do it. It was just perfect. I'd love to have been on the beach with her. I love where we were standing and covering the race from, but to actually see her get on the beach and get her poker chip and know that she'd actually done it was a really special moment, wasn't it, for our sport history, Betsy?
It really was. I think we both teared up in that moment, which I'm
I
not going
think
to do now. But yeah, we did.
I think I more than teared up. I think I cried. But it was lovely. I mean, they're the moments we live for, aren't they? When you see something so wonderful, and having interviewed her and heard her thought processes and how she knew she was ready in body but not in mind, and the hard work that she put into it, and you know you just know next year potentially she's going to come back and try and win this damn thing. So
Yeah.
all power to her. And then the next person that finished, I think, was young Jeremy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
He made the super loop. It
yeah,
was really, really impressive.
yeah. So he just, that sunny nature of his just pulled him through, and he finished. And then I think Laird came in next. The others didn't quite make it, but they were so close. You're talking, potentially seconds. It wasn't that long, and they'd just all gone out there and tried to do it. So we were super super impressed. Jeremy and
Yeah.
Lindsey chose not to go on, so we had
Yep.
three. We had three in Super Loop 2,
Which
and
had
those
never happened before.
which had never happened before. So again, part of SUP history. I do love it, and off they went again. John leading the way. I think Brad and Bruce sort of swapped a little bit backwards and forwards, didn't they?
Yep.
Um, and what happened? They just breezed back in again,
They did it
completed.
again.
I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was really, really incredible. And again, that time of what they'd done actually, instead of having their camps out of the beach, they had their camps on the beach for the super loops, which really makes sense because they're running out of time. They might only have like 1 or 2 minutes spare. And it was really interesting to see their support crew literally almost pick them up, put them in a chair, dust them off, rewrap them in a ribbon, and send them out again. It was quite incredible, wasn't it? I mean, you cannot underestimate the what the land crew bring to the paddler, and to see that happening for those three men, there was just no question that there didn't seem to be any talking on the beach. There just seemed to be those three were like, we're going out again. Literally span around and off they went again with probably, I don't know, a couple of minutes to spare. It was quite an incredible thing to watch, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I think that the super loops is the point of the race. Like you can do this race without a support crew. Paula won it the first year without a
Yeah.
support crew. But I think the super loops, as you say, like that is the most critical point of the race to have a great support crew because you are not going to have much spare time, doing 4.9 miles in an hour. Even a quick paddler, what, 5-10 minutes, like that really shrinks down. I think John Batson was coming in with like 7 minutes spare, maybe. And at that point, it's like, okay, maybe you need to run to the toilet for a pee, and that's another like 3 minutes gone or something.
Yeah.
And you've got more super loops to make it through. You're burning more calories. Your body's in a deficit after 2 days of paddling. You need someone on that beach who is taking care of you. And the good news, though, is if you have showed up at the race and gotten to that point without a support crew, everyone else by this point is just hanging around ready to help you out, which
Yeah.
was one of my favorite things about the community of this race, which a lot of people talked about being there and experiencing it was another level. So, if you don't have a support crew, by 48 hours in, you'll have one.
You're absolutely right, actually. And also the other thing was that all the support crew, because a lot of them were free then, but also
Yep.
spectators. We had locals coming,
Oh
who'd
yeah.
seen the race and they came down. They knew what was going on, and they came down for those last few hours, but also for the start of the Super Loop. So they were there, people invested, and we talk about it like like it's a sort of throwaway thing, but it's almost another hour on the water. There could be potentially more
Yeah.
Super Loops. It's just extending this race. Everything becomes almost like a throwaway, doesn't it? Like the hour, the 48, the only 12 hours. We must reimagine this race to be so much bigger than we sometimes talk about it, if that makes sense. So Super Loop 3, those three boys were just like, off we go again. And we were on the beach by then. We found ourselves on the beach, and someone said, "Oh, there's Bruce." I was like, "What the hell is he doing there? Why is he there on the course?" And someone said, oh, maybe he's gone the wrong way. I was like, I don't think so after 50 hours. Or maybe he'd overshot the red. No, I said he's finished. He's finished. And you could just see he wasn't slumped his body language wasn't slumped and disappointed, because with Bruce, you know that he will never, ever, ever stop until he absolutely has to. His words are, I don't want to let anyone down. She's just Bruce all over. It's not almost what he's got in the tank. His tank is other people. So when we saw him coming in, he was he didn't look disappointed. He just looked like, this is it. I've done my very, very best. And he got off on the beach and he just looked, somewhere else in a way. He just, to stop that race then, after all those hours, it must be a very weird body experience, must it, and mind experience. What is going on? It must be very strange.
Yeah, it's tough. I think, and he, I'm sure, went into it with a mindset of wanting to, win and do as many laps as he could. And I think that would be like simultaneously satisfying and disappointing altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so hard because he was out there on the water, and I think he said he had his speed coach on. And so he was watching the numbers and he was like, I'm not going to make the cutoff. And that was why he turned in early. And so to make that, to just see that, and okay, I've hit the point of physical impossibility.
Yeah.
This is
quite a big thing to actually do that, rather than sort of beasting yourself for another, whatever it would have been, I don't know, another 4K. And he retrospectively, he's super proud of himself because he only really trained for about 6 weeks. So, I mean, quite incredible. He is quite amazing. You can tell he's one of my favorites.
He could definitely,
he could definitely do this.
I know.
Yeah. No, he
I think he
could.
will come back another year, and I would, consider placing a bet on him to win in a future year. I think he's got what it takes.
Absolutely. So we then had on the course Brad and John. John was leading, and they both made the cut again.
Yep.
Which was, again, we were just like, what the heck? How long do we need to be here on this beach in Florida? How long are they going to keep us here? So they both finished, again, minutes to spare. And then Brad decided, because if people don't know, once someone, or what we call the assist, so Brad ended up being the assist to say to John, I'm not going on. Once that happens, the race isn't over. That paddler then has to paddle the last lap on their own. And this is what John did last year and didn't make it by under a minute. So I think we talked about this earlier, that we felt that John could do pretty well this year because he had, clearly something to prove. He knows what it takes to get to that stage, and he knows what it takes to actually beat the race. And absolutely no one wanted the race to win again. So Brad stepped away, didn't he? I don't remember seeing that interaction between the two of them. I don't know whether they
didn't interact.
Okay, okay. That's
so
why I didn't
Brad
see
came in. Yeah, so he came in time, right? But he only had, I think, 2 minutes or less. I think he came in around the 58-minute mark. And so he could have absolutely turned around and gone again. But the sense that I got was John 100% knew he was going out for another lap because he was going to keep doing that until he was the last one left. I don't even think I'm not sure he was even paying attention, honestly, to what Brad was doing. I think he was just focused on doing his next lap. Yeah. And Brad I think he knew that if he went out again, he was probably not going to make that 1 hour mark.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it, to be able to do that, and at that very moment, and at that very moment in time when you must be so tired. Saying that, I have to say, I think Brad looked the freshest of everybody. I took a great photograph of him, and someone said, "Oh, was that at the beginning of the race?" And he said, "No, just about to go to the Super Loops." Honestly, he looked as fresh as a daisy. Good. He really did. He looked no sweat, no nothing. He's paddling, beautifully. I mean, maybe the longboard did help. He's on a 17-foot board or something, unlimited. But yeah, incredible. So off
Yeah.
John went, and then every man and his dog who was there was willing this man to do this. Could we have a repeat of the year before? Nobody wanted it. I think our willpower, I mean, his utter determination and focus just took him round. And when we were standing on the pontoon, there were people there who'd been watching. They were watching the loops, they were watching the time,
Yeah.
and they knew, didn't they? They knew that if
Yeah.
someone reached a point by a certain time, that they would make it. And they were going, he's going to make it, he's going to make it. I think that's when we sprinted to the beach. We've got to see him come
It
in.
was, yeah. Oh,
It
it
was
was great. That
Talk us
was,
through those last few minutes, Lindsey, because it was so
oh
joyous,
gosh.
wasn't it?
It was. And yeah, I was really happy the 4.9 loop course had that extra buoy right in front of, like right next to the beach, right in front of that pier, so that we could all, go and check and say, okay, is he going to make the time? And so there were three people. There was Tammy Hampton from Hawaii, who we talked about earlier, plus Jeannie Jones, who's fantastic, and her husband Lee. And I think he had a stopwatch or something. And so I went over with the camera. I was like, all right, you all have been timing everyone on every lap. Is he going to make it? And they're like, yeah, he's going to make it.
Oh, that's so lovely. That is so. And the other thing was, it was close enough for everybody to shout. And you know what it's like when you're paddling. If someone shouts your name, you put the hammer down, don't you? You absolutely find
Yeah.
that energy from somewhere. You could be, dead on your feet, and you will get that something from somewhere. So for everybody to be shouting his name. And
I swear he went faster. I'm
I
convinced he did that lap faster.
I think he had over 5 minutes to spare, which in
I,
those
I think
circum
he with like, yeah, 5 to 7 minutes.
yeah, under those circumstances, utterly incredible, isn't it? I mean, that is
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, last time he lost it, as I say, by just under a minute. I think he confirmed that this week. It was something like 45 seconds. So for him to actually smash that, record, not only get the last paddler standing record, but by 5 minutes, just insane. Insane.
It was really, it was such an incredible moment and so, so well deserved. He was so pleased. His wife, Alice, who supported him through the whole weekend, she was so pleased.
Yeah.
It really felt like the culmination of something, that he'd worked really, really hard for and very well deserved.
Really, really special. Well, congratulations to you, John. You are just utterly incredible. I think we're both really, really proud to be there and to witness that, witness you beating that race. I mean, utterly fantastic and such focus, I remember talking about him just being almost still. Everything was still about him. Everything was it looked very measured, and there was no frantic nonsense going on, or, it was just a thing of beauty to watch. So um, kudos, John, and also to Lindsey as well. We must big up Lindsey as well, because
Yeah.
what she did was unbelievable, and we cannot wait to see her again. I had a little jiggle with the all-time loop figures, because I was just really
Oh,
interested
have
to
you updated
see.
them? Oh, this is
Yeah,
very exciting.
yeah, yeah. Just the top few, because it's interesting. So John Nippers, who was someone who we thought would do, sorry, someone who did do incredibly well, but actually finished on 19 laps. He wasn't very well to start with, wasn't sure
He
he would
was
actually do
very
it.
ill. Poor
Very
guy.
ill. Yeah, he
He
thought
was a star.
he was an absolute star. But he was leading the loop, the all-time loop leaders. He still is, because he paddled another 19.
He
So
still
we've
did
got John,
19. Yeah.
yeah, John Nippers in first place with 162. Bobby Johnson in second place with 148, which is really cool. Alex Simona with 140, so he's still up there, and we are desperate for him. Please come back, Alex. Please come and do it again.
In your chat with him, it sounds like he is very keen to come back next year.
Yeah, he's just got to juggle a few balls, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll be back. It'll be great. And then lying in fourth place is Lindsey. So she's bobbed up 2 places. She was in
Wow.
sixth. But that is incredible. 120. And then your and
That's
Gustafson is 112. Blake and John Batson equal 6, and Bruce and Michael Carson equal 7. So
wow.
fascinating movement within that sort of top 10, but they're sort of everybody over 90 laps. I mean, incredible. What a race. What a race. Betsy, you're going to go back next year?
I am. I am.
Me too. I can't wait. What an event to be part of, though. We to see the paddlers, to see them do this incredible thing, to see some record smash that you so beautifully put on your post. I mean, if you haven't seen them, go and look at Lucy's post. Sorry, Betsy's post, because they're brilliant, and it just gives all the leaders and the records broken. To be there in that year, I think, was fascinating, and something that I feel very blessed that I was part of that event in particular. But I cannot wait to go back and hopefully see more records smashed. I think we will.
Yeah,
Definitely.
same here. And it's the perfect location. I mean, we talked about it a lot on the stream, which hopefully everyone listened to, but Lake June in winter, Lake Placid, Florida, the town was so welcoming, so happy to be there for the first year there. I think it's going to go back there again next year. And I think even more of the town might turn out, which yeah, this is getting bigger. It's going to be
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nathan Benson was great to start with. Had 3 years there, but it's quite clinical place because it's a purpose-built regatta lake, sprint lake, and this was much more beautiful. I mean, we didn't see a half of Lake June. It is massive, but we were in this tiny little tucked away corner. But the locals, the Visit Sebring, they just looked after us so well, and they were so encouraging, for the whole event, and they really want to see us back. So, and we have the dates for next year as well. So, depending on how long you can paddle for, you can paddle on the 5th of December, the 6th of December, going into the 7th if you want to come and join the Super Loopers. So, yeah, Betsy, thank you so much for doing this super quick roundup, episode 2. It was a real pleasure as well for me to work with you. It was really great. We hadn't met each other until we almost got to Florida, and I think we were a pretty good team with Craig. It was great fun, really, really good fun, but an honour to be there. And thank you so much to Greg for inviting us along. But yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was. I think we were a great team. I'm patting us on the back, which I'm not sure if I should, but we got great feedback in the comments. So I think there's good evidence to back it up.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
I had a
sure.
great time.
Yeah, I had a wonderful time, and there were great comments, and I'm sure you, like me, have probably received lots of private messages as well, just saying, great job. It was just really good. And for us to carry on through the lightning and just talk on for 2 hours, it was just great fun. So, Betsy, thank you so much. Have a great Christmas. Do you do Thanksgiving over here, or are you a Christmas girl?
Christmas, yeah, I'll be in the US again for Christmas, 10
Yeah.
days after getting back from.
Okay. Well, have a great time, safe travels, and I very much look forward to seeing you in 2026 at some event. And hopefully we'll see each other before last paddle standing. So get that in your diaries, guys. Please come along and have a go, even if it's just for one lap. It is the most wonderful family vibe. It's just so welcoming, and we'd love to see you there. So we look forward to seeing you all at Last Paddle Standing 2026. Thank you so much, Betsy.
Thanks, Sarah. See you next year.